So, I guess it's time to talk about Stanford. It's August 25. And guess what? 3 years ago, I found a lawsuit. And the lawsuit clearly says, what is the actual notice of the lawsuit found? So what requirements were there to be a lawsuit? Well, let's take a look at the law school. All right. Let's take a look at the law school. Stanford University of Law. So there was an issue. Stanford opened up their school and they said, hey, let's not invite Mongolian people. That's the wrong choice. Because little do they know, Mongolian people invented law. Moses sounds like Chinese. So guess what? I took it upon my own hands to message Mark Zuckerberg every day. Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, you're a lawyer, right? You're a lawyer, you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer, Mark Zuckerberg. You're a lawyer, sir. Zuckerberg. And Zuckerberg's like, I'm not going to listen to this. So Zuckerberg knew he was a lawyer, and he didn't reply to me. So I guess Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want to reply. So I've been messaging the Facebook and the Instagram, and I've been saying, hey, aren't you frauding your law school? Because if you reject Mongolian people, they're the ones who invented law. And then how could you have a federal government? Because your federal government only knows its laws through its second biggest law school. And that's Stanford. So what did you say back, Stanford? Not a damn thing. 'Cause you's a bitch. Bitch. 'Cause compared to Daniel, Stanford's a bitch. Bitch. Biatch. So, Stanford, what else does that mean? If you fraud, if you reject your Mongols, you reject your law itself, you reject your law school, you reject your federal government, your police. Your police don't know why they're on the streets. What about your nuclear weapons? Ain't there some sort of federal government or a government behind your nuclear weapons? Oh, so the police and the military are both in the federal government. Oh. See, now you gotta worry about a nuclear weapon. Oh no. What if it blows up in San Francisco, California? Okay. Calm down. Here's another idea. What about your death row? Really no. Motherfuck death row. Motherfuck Dre. What about all that, huh? Ain't your death row a fraud? If your law school is a fraud because it rejects Mongolian people, ain't your federal government, your police a fraud? Ain't your everybody in jail a fraud? What are they doing in jail? You have no federal government to back themselves up. You have no federal government to back themselves up to say, hey, you're supposed to be going to jail. You have no jail because you're a fraud federal government. And here's the thing. You're a fraud death row. Really no. You're a fraud death row. Because if you reject your Mongols, you have no law school. Therefore, you have no police. Therefore, you have no jail inmates. Therefore, you have no death row. So for 200 years, you've been lying about death row. You can't be lying about death row. That's death row. Oh my God. You're lying about death row. Guess what else? Your second biggest law school in all of USA, Stanford University of Law, you people put $3.5 trillion a year into Stanford since 1885 all the way to 2026. That means all that money was a fraud because you rejected Mongolians, so you never should have had a law school because Mongolians invented law school. See how smart I am? This is how smart the Hindu is. Now you're supposed to tell me, on top of that, what other mistakes there are. See, right now, so far, it's a perjury lawsuit for about $500 trillion. $3 trillion a year for 150 years. $500 trillion. But here's the other thing. What about paying into your federal government? What about paying into your policing? That's 7 trillion a year. That means your entire federal government's a fraud because your second biggest law school's a fraud, right? So your second biggest law school's a fraud. That means all of your police are fraud. So that means your police who put 7 trillion a year into the policing, they all owe me since 1885 all the way to 2026. They all owe me 7 trillion a year, which is $1,000 trillion, which is 1 quadrillion. See how smart I am? So $1,000 trillion plus $500 trillion, 1,500,000,000,000.